Welcome, people. First of all, if you're watching this on May 7th in 2022, a big shout out and happy Mother's Day weekend goes out to you if you are a mom, because heaven knows it's not easy being a mama. As for today's topic, it actually falls in line with being a mom. As many of you know, the Supreme Court is set to rule on if Roe v. Wade is unconstitutional. And from the leaked document this past week, that is actually what it appears they are preparing to do. So let's talk about three options you have to still take control and choose what you want to happen with your body. Now, as we know, the Supreme Court justices are voted in, and typically it is a president who chooses a nominee. So if you vote, you have a hand in choosing indirectly who is going to be sitting on that bench. And I know a lot of people say voting doesn't matter, it's rigged, it's a waste of time. But I have you know, even if you don't vote, somebody's going to be in those positions, and those people in those positions are making decisions that affect our lives. So again, let's get into those three ways. First way, the king's way. Now, if you're not down with the king, or you just prefer not to live the king's way, this way is not going to appeal to you. You may not even consider it at all. But I'm going to give it to you because I believe it is the best option available to you for you to not be in a position to need an abortion. And I said that the best way because I'm realistic and I understand there are cases where women, teens, and even kids are not choosing to end up pregnant. They are unfortunately being targeted by some men, some guys whom they may know or may not know, and those men violate and abuse them, and they end up pregnant due to no fault of their own. I'm not addressing those situations here. I'm talking about the cases and instances where you as a woman, you are choosing to be intimate with whoever you're choosing to be intimate with, and you end up pregnant. You have the free will in that instance to choose. And with that free will, you also have the ability to choose to keep your legs closed. Because here it is, ladies. A lot of times the men that we are choosing, they are very interested and ready to get in that bed and have fun. But those same men will turn around and not be interested and not want to have any responsibility or accountability to help raise a child or children. So please understand, your focal point should not be on a ring, because a man can give you a ring and still not follow through on making you his queen. So your objective is to not let him get in between. Now, number two, the man-made way. Now, some of you may say, listen, sis, I can't do that. I need it. I got to have it. That's all it is to it. I just cannot keep my legs closed. But please understand, if you have that mindset, you're going to eventually, more likely than not, end up in a situation where you're carrying a plus one. But the state has come in and they have laws in each state. It may be called something different in your state, but typically they have a safe haven law, and it allows you as a parent to leave your child in a designated safe place with a designated safe person. And I'm not going to get into the specifics here because depending on what state you're in, the law is written up differently. So in some states, you have to leave them at hospitals. Some states, they give you the option of a hospital or a fire station. Some states even allow you to leave them at a church. Some states specify that you have to speak to someone. You have to literally hand them to someone who is designated to be a safe person. It really just depends. But they do have this law available to you. And I said it's available to parents because it's also available to men. Okay, so it's not just there for women, it's there for men who do not want to have their children, who do not want to raise them. And number two, I believe that more parents should use this because it will allow the states to see that what they're doing with this back and forth debate on abortion is actually the opposite of what they want. They want to decrease and cut programs and funding as much as possible. And if more parents would leave their children at these designated safe places, the state would end up taking care of them, and they don't want that. And it will let them see that they are preventing people who are able and willing to have an abortion from doing so, and they will find out how costly that truly is to them and to the state that they're in or over. And number three, the costly way. Now, this ruling really, if it goes through, if it is approved, it is negatively going to affect those who do not have the financial means and resources to travel. Because here it is. Even if the Supreme Court says yes, it's unconstitutional, just because they say it's unconstitutional here in the United States does not mean that everywhere else around the world people are going to follow suit. That countries are all going to say, yes, we're going to rule the way that the United States Supreme Court did, and we're going to make abortion unconstitutional here. So, for some people, that means that you're going to have to travel. It's an option. Is it expensive to travel? Yes, especially depending on how far you have to travel, especially if that travel takes you out of the country. But it is still an option that is available to you. As a woman, I understand that you want to do what's best for you. And that means that you feel that you should be the deciding person who decides if or when you have a child. So yes, elections have consequences that we must live with, but so do the choices we choose to make or choose not to make. As always, I'm Coach Sam telling you, 24 hours doesn't seem long, but in 24 hours, you could change your life. So go ahead and do something life-changing now.